so very much for joining me at the 9th Wunderklo Foundation Gala event to raise funds for the Wunder Project. It has been a very difficult time and uncertain what the next day will bring. Many of us are tired, exhausted, fatigued, and are wondering what the future will bring and when we come back to normalization of our days. These challenges impact not only our private but also our professional life. Many of us asking us why I am doing, what will the next day bring, how do we proceed with our lives. I think this is the time to really ask about the purpose of our lives. Only a purpose is the first step to the development of hope and future. We need to ask what the purpose of our life is. This also includes myself and my group at USC. The purpose we decided to go after is to really help our patients, to improve their quality of life, to advance medical science, cancer research, and find the cure for colorectal cancer. Even in this challenging time, we found completely new ways to enhance our patients' life. For example, when COVID was surging here in Los Angeles, I wrote a clinical trial for our patients who are COVID positive. In fact, taking advantage of our increased molecular signaling pathways, which actually shared by COVID and certain cancers. So we wrote a clinical trial by combining two novel agents, baricitinib and remdesivir, which just showed last week to have positive outcomes in the Italian clinical trials. This trial is ongoing in order to have access for our patients in the county as well as at the USC Norris and the Keck Hospital. But we have done so much more. Even our labs were closed for 7 months. We are just reopened and are at 25% capacity. We have relooked and analyzed our data in a completely new way. Our projects on the Down syndrome, as you remember, we starting last year, has made some progress, but not as much as we hoped for. However, we wrote a grant in this time and got $250,000 from the Ming Hsieh Institute at USC. We also advanced our clock protein project. You remember that we found that people who work night shifts are at significant higher risk for colorectal cancer. We investigated what this pathway includes, identified very important genes, and started using compounds interfering with the clocking of the patient and the tumor, and were able to show that we can kill colon cancer cells. We are now expanding that into the preclinical models using cancer organoids, which are 3D conformation of cells, and even the mouse model. Because we were slowed down by COVID, we wrote another grant and got the Team Science Project Award, the first ever from the USC Norris Cancer Center, which goes up to $1 million. So we have been busy and advancing our understanding on new drug development for the clock proteins as well as the Down syndrome gene. But we have some very exciting new advances because we were able to look, and I mentioned that last year, into the association of Parkinson's and colorectal cancer. In our comprehensive molecular data analysis, we found a gene predicting outcome for our patients with metastatic disease, and this gene was called alpha-synuclein. Now, we had no idea what alpha-synuclein is, but we found out it's a diagnostic gene to identify Parkinson's disease. And it became very clear that we have never seen Parkinson's patients with colon cancer because Parkinson's protects two of the development of colorectal cancer. How and why? So there are a lot of unanswered questions. We digged deeper in. We understood that the signaling of the dopamine pathway, the gene or the protein we supplement patients with this disease, actually enhances the efficacy of treatment of colon cancer patients. But we have done more because we used cutting-edge technology, analyzing the gene expression level of each colon cancer cells and found that the most important pathways of surviving colon cancer cells was neurodegenerative diseases, which Parkinson is part. So we looked for others. So there is a very important pathway called GABA, which is responsible for a lot of different neurogenetic diseases, including epilepsy. We tested GABA and found again highly significant association predicting outcome for patients with metastatic disease. But this is not enough. We still didn't understand why these nervous systems pathways interacted with colon cancer cells. So we identified a gene in collaboration with a neuroscientist, Josh Newman at USC. It's a gene which allows the migration of nerves in the tissues. This gene is called relin. We identified this gene, tested it, and its predicted outcome again for patients with colorectal cancer. And it linked for the first time the nervous transmitter system with immune signaling and colorectal cancer. We now, for the first time ever, understand that the neurotransmitter, the little particles the nerves send out, interfere with colon cancer migration and progression of disease. So we are extremely excited. We are one of the few groups in the world who is really working on it. And based on all this data, linking the importance of the microenvironment cancer cells are, is not only immune cells or stroma cells, it is also the nervous system playing a significant part. We just put 2 weeks ago a $20 million grant in, looking and taking advantage of the data we generated over the last 3 months in order to see and further investigate, as well as identifying novel treatment options, because that pathway has not only the potential for new treatments, but also for successful prevention of colorectal cancer. So we are very excited about these new projects, and I have to tell you, this would be not possible without the support from the Wunder Project. Because all this data leading to the submission of this $20 million grant was done with money from the Wunder Project, where we can invest quickly, fast, and unrestricted into new models, new analysis, new experiments with cell lines or organoids in order to get information which hopefully are sufficient to get NCI funding. So we are only here and make this progress because of all of you helping us and directing funds to ongoing promising research. So I would like to thank you all for the incredible support we have gotten and made incredible advances. Now every single publication we do, we dedicate this to the Wunderglow Foundation and particularly the Wunder Project. And you would be very proud. We have published over 40 papers the last 12 months. That is an incredible success and due to a lot of team efforts of basic scientists, clinical scientists, as well as philanthropists like you. Thank you very much and enjoy this wonderful evening of celebration. Cancer, your time is up.